Alright, you guys, how you doing? Yes, so it's 8:49 p.m. Thursday, March 29. Now, I gotta just tell you, I feel absolutely incredible. I mean, so absolutely, like my foundation of this temple is as solid as it gets. You know, like, I don't know anything about the building of foundations. I'm gonna have to learn though, because we're gonna have to be building up the 200 to 300 foot high walls around Rockioura, of course. You know, between the waters that surround Stewart Island, aka Rockioura, and the inland. We're gonna be putting up 200 to 300 foot walls. You know, because you gotta protect Jah Heaven on Earth Kingdom, specifically the Spec Ops space for the whole Heaven on Earth project. Of course you do, because anything that any of Jah children, soulJaaahs put up will be noticed by Lucifer, and then he and his demoniac cohorts will do like they do. They'll get to whispering in wicked people's ears. And when I say wicked, because basically, you know, there's lots of categories of us humans, but if you want to simplify, like when you grow up learning math and they're always telling you, simplify, 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 well, that's a little bit of good advice from these busters, because although it is interesting and can be fun and challenging to play on the branches of whatever you're into, rather than staying at the roots of the matter where it's most simple, you should also have the ability to simplify. And so what I'm saying is, it really does come down to wicked, righteous. And right there, you see it up there, Jesus arm wrestling with Satan, Jesus righteous, Satan evil. So who do you work for? That's really, I mean, who are you a puppet of? Because I'm a puppet of Jah and Jesus. Jah, only begotten Son. And that's it. That's just, I've chosen, and I'm not gonna backslide. I'm not gonna be a backslider. I'm of the Church of Philadelphia, naturally. Being born at UPenn Hospital, May 3, 1974, 12:22 a.m. Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, the day God rested. And, you know, speaking on the original 7 churches, God favored 2 of the 7. Which goes to show you how many people really, out of these 8 billion, God favors. You know, it's not even half, basically. And you might say, well, that was then, this is now. Well, it's, you know, things aren't getting better, right? These are called the end days, the last days. I mean, tribulation about to bust off within them with the Great Tribulation and all that. 7 years of some serious challenges and tests And I think, it's natural for people to be afraid of that, but just keep this in mind. When you've been saved in the blood of Jesus, and not just saved, but as the Scots say, well saved, then you don't fear the potentiality of these mad scientists cloning, whoever they plan on, whether it be a Nephilim or some type of beast, whether they accomplish this goal of theirs to open portals and dimensions using their CERN machine with the fallen angel technology, worshipping their false Celtic gods, Cernunnos, all that stuff. If they succeed, which nobody can say if they will, but prophecy does say this. It's real clear. We are gonna experience conditions similar to those before the flood. Which, obviously, if we experience conditions similar to when Noah was, then that's a reason for Jah to do another cleanse. So, for anyone who's thinking that when I say last days, end of the days, then it's just gonna be it done kaput. Nah. It's like the Bob Marley song. You think it's the end, but it's just the beginning. Yeah. And even on a more physical, tangible level, it is gonna be the end. Oh yeah, it is, for lots and lots. For most. No, for most. But there's gonna be a safe haven for God's chosen. I should say they, elect, as it's called, the elect, the select. And I think that's pretty much a question I would hope you all would want to answer. When you read the Lord's Prayer and it talks about heaven on earth, do you think about where it might be? Because let me tell you, I did instantly. I was like, heaven on earth? Where? Where? And I think the big trap is because it's called New Jerusalem in the Book of Life, that people think, well, that means it's going to basically be like the old Jerusalem's going to get all mashed up from Armageddon, etc. And so the New Jerusalem will be on where the old one was. Nah, well, that's for y'all to sort out with John, your own personal meditations, but I'm not feeling that at all. Nah. And haven't been for, since 1995, when Jah first put that vision into my head and had me revisit the vision of where, when, how, etc. untold number of times since 1995. Whether it be times where I was enhanced with certain potions of plant-sourced potions, or just meditations, or just, they say when you're on your personal throne in the bathroom, you have epiphanies. I'm telling you, if Jah first planted this vision in 1995, that's a lot of revisits, and it's never changed. The where, never. And I fought it. Oh yes, I did. I always wrestle with Jah, because I want to make sure before I share with anyone. I mean, it's 2018 and I've never shared the where. Never. I would always, if I even hinted at it, like, I didn't even use Facebook, but like 2 years ago, I would hint at it. But I was scared to say where, you know, because in my mind, I'm thinking everyone's gonna bum rush it. I mean, that shows how much self-importance I thought I had. I thought me just telling people on Facebook, everybody would be bum rushing the where. Well, now I know better. You know, it's basically Jaah's in control of everything. So if I just was to share the where, then only the ones with the eyes to see and the ears to hear will not just pick up on the where, but see it, confirm it, you know, whether it's in their own personal meditation a day or 3 days or whenever, you know. You're just gonna get your just rewards. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like, you know, the New Agers like to call it karma, but it's, you know, it's just you reap what you sow. You're gonna be judged by your works. You know, real simple matters, really, actually. But I think I say that because, like, I'm not really going out trying to, like, tell everybody where this safe haven's gonna be. I was doing the opposite. I was, like, basically holding back that as if it was some kind of secret doctrine, and only those that I deemed worthy I was gonna share. And now I realize, leave that to God, you know? He's gonna decide who ultimately will make that confirmation in their heads and hearts, etc. Anyway, started that with a little flow session, and but I'll tell you what, you guys, like I said, I'm feeling real good because, like, I think I made a couple videos with Soul Cure Radio this morning around, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9, but then I know it was like around noon, and I was like, I gotta go dive and take a nap. I think I might have ended my last video stating that, actually. I thought it would be a typical 3 or 4 hour nap, you know. I mean, that's long for me. When I say I take a popoki nap, it's typically only like 2 to 3 hours, because with me, I wake up when I gotta take a cup piss. You ever have that dream where it's like you gotta go piss real bad, and you know, it's because in real life you gotta take a cup piss, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my god, I'm like up to my eyeballs, you know, in cup piss. That's how usually I get woke up. So what I'm saying is, when I woke up and saw that it was 7:30, I was like, whoa. And I had to go. I mean, seriously. I mean, wow. It was painful. I got up and I'm like, holy, you know, I got to go. Because usually I wake up and just sit there and collect myself, but I was like, you know, and yeah, 7.5 hours, that's a pretty long popoki nap, you know what I'm saying? But I feel great, I really needed it. And not only that, but I just was outside, you know, as it was getting dark here in 5 miles from Duke University. And it was beautiful. It's like the moon is getting full. And so I just naturally sat down on this big rock we have in front of our house. And I don't know if it's a rock, because it could be a piece of Nephilim that calcified or not calcified, turned into limestone, whatever. You know, the thing about all these, you know, rock formations that look like somebody carved them into the shape of, look like trolls or giants, etc., you know. Well, there's a really good argument that those are mud fossils. you know, basically when the flood happened, the earth was full of Nephilims, giants up to 2 miles high. We don't know how high, but the Book of Enoch said 1 to 2 miles, basically, something like that. Elves, and some do the calculation of how many elves, and some say it was 2 miles, some say it was 4,500 feet, etc. It was up there. It wasn't your typical 15-foot giant like the David and Goliath story where everyone's like, Goliath was twice the size of David. No, I'm talking like, you know, in the UFC, there's a fighter called Stefan Struve, and his nickname is Skyscraper. So these were skyscrapers. They were Stefan Struves. And you know, that brings me back to like what I'm saying. If these people clone these Nephilims, it's not something to be scared of, because I'm telling you though, but the thing is, like, just like that movie, that cartoon Attack on Titan, when they have special forces, they have to protect, you know, their kingdom or whatever, you know, from the Titans. And it shows in that cartoon that the Titans are all about eating them. Because that's, you know, that's what they were, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smelled the blood of an English bum, and they just crunch them. All the giant movies, they're just, like even that new one with, Nick House, is that his name? Something like that. Ewan McGregor, you know? And the giant was like a chef, and he was rolling up the humans in the dough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were playing on that idea, but basically any giant story is about them eating us, you know? And typically, one myth, the way it's explained, usually means it was a real thing. You know, I don't say usually, sometimes, and sometimes usually. But when you got, like, the giant myth, and all of them, they was eating humans, yeah, well, okay, yeah, that's a good way to say it. Was most likely they was eating humans. Because the idea is that, when the Nephilims, you know, obviously they were rulers on Earth, you know, I mean, if you're like a mile high, naturally you're gonna be the ruler. There wasn't just a couple of them, like you see in these movies, there's just a couple of these giants, and then we figure out a way to take them out, you know. No, this Earth was like full of them, full of these Nephilims. And they was fighting and stuff, I'm sure they were, you know, causing all kinds of thunderous whatnots. But what I'm saying is, don't even be scared of that, because God even put it in my head. Like the Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf had to fight that big fire monster, and they were on top of the cliff, and the fire monster grabbed him by the ankle with the tail, and they went falling down, and then the fire monster crashed down, and I don't know if he died from the fall, but what I'm saying is, with a mile-high Nephilim, what are we gonna do about it, right? Well, God was like, you ever seen a lot of these movies with the giants that they lure them to a cliff, and then the giant just falls down the cliff, and that's how you know, you take out a giant. You don't like try to go up to him with a staff with your manipulations and take out his. You can't even reach his knee. Take out his toe bones with your staff. See my point though? God will be with us the whole way. And so even the greatest challenges, if they open the portals to where Lucifer's bound with all his demonia cohorts, Jah's gonna tell us how to deal with it. Like I was saying about, you know, Rocky Horror with the 200 to 300 foot walls. I was getting at the fact that I don't know about masonry. And so I'm gonna need help. You know, it's why I seek the 11 other of the double D class, delphi disciple class, soulJaaahs, because I don't know nothing about that kind of thing, building foundations. But they gotta be solid, these walls. You know, there's local quarries on Rockiora. There's like building with volcanic rock. You know, there's all these possibilities. Oh, what I was saying was, I feel like my foundation's solid. You know, like I know what builders, they figured out a way to not just build with concrete, but to put like metal shavings inside it. It makes the concrete way more stronger. That's how I feel today. Like I got concrete and metal as my foundation. So, yeah, I was outside, and I meditated for about an hour while it was getting dark, and I noticed the moon's getting full, and JaaAah downloaded all kinds of things into me while I was meditating, guys. I mean, it was a serious download. And, well, this, for example, I'm always talking about how I'm, an end-days popoki class. You know? Do you guys have any idea what I mean when I say popoki? Well, like my mom told us when we was kids, go look it up. You know? For now, nowadays they say, Google that. But, you know, now I'm noticing it's not just popoki class weapon system. JaaAah's downloading other kinds into me. And I've been talking about the ferret in me. So I got some other downloads. I'm popoki class, I got ferret class. You know, it's like Neo and he got all them downloads and he knew Kung Fu and Taekwondo. Yeah, I'm getting downloads. And it's popoki, it's ferret. And you know what else? You know what else? Right there it is. Right there it is. That's right there it is, you guys. See it there? See Gecko. Charlie Gecko. Charlie Gecko. Life so cool. So I got popoki, ferret, and gecko. JaaAah's gonna keep downloading as is needed. But downloaded other stuff too. Oh yeah, so I wanted to say, I ordered some stuff this morning. I ordered a 4K, a Ultra HD body camera. It's like about that big, and it was the same day, and it should be getting here any minute. It's supposed to be here by 9, but sometimes they don't. They tell you in a little email like, "We're sorry, it's gonna be there tomorrow," even though, you know, they're supposed to be same day. And sometimes I do that, make sure it's same day, because it's like, Bob Marley's like, strike the hammer when the iron is hot. And let me tell you what's up with that. This weekend, for all the combat lovers out there, we got, I mean, it's just like the most massive combat weekend ever made. We got Glory Kickboxing Friday. We got Bellator, and it's not your normal shit Bellator. This is with the heavyweight tournament style, and we just saw Matt, you know, Meathead, what's his last name? You know, we saw Matt fight Big Country, and damn, that was a nice fight. I honestly thought Meathead might sleep him fast, because he's got power and he's real athletic. Meathead, you know, I don't usually call him Meathead, but I can't think of his last name. But Matt, yeah, it was a great fight because Big Country was trying to take him down, and he finally got him down, and he got him in his Big Country's thing is the crucifix. He got him in that. He started doing with the short elbows. And I'm telling you, it was weird because Matt is real athletic and he could scramble, but he couldn't get out of his crucifix. And what's even more weird is when they were on the Ultimate Fighter, that's exactly how Big Country got Matt. He got him in the crucifix with the short elbows, And then the ref stopped it. But this time the ref didn't stop it. And Big Country kept going. And he should have put more force on it. He didn't. He just kept with the... He thought more was better. And it wasn't. You want to get these refs' attention sometimes when they're not going to just do it right away. You got to start with the boom, boom, and don't worry about gassing out. Because if you drop a couple elbows, like Macho Man Randy Savage. In fact, I'm just going to take a tangential real quick. You know those GIFs like on Facebook? Go search the GIF Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop on a gerbil. It's the funniest thing ever, you guys, ever. Anyway, back to my story. So, Big Country's dropping these short elbows. The ref's not stopping it. Big Country's thinking, well, usually the more the better with the... And, you know, he's worried about gassing out if he starts going, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Well, he shoulda. He shoulda, because the ref didn't stop it. Went to a decision, and they gave it to Matt. And now Big Country's out of the tournament. But, you know, so just say, right? Anyway, I'm saying is, tomorrow night, Friday night, we got who? The last emperor from Russia. Oh boy, Fedor, who fights maybe once a year, every 2 years, and, you know, for a long time we had to wait 5 years. You know what I'm saying? This is a treat because he's fighting Frank Mir, who for a long time was my dude. I mean, the way he beat that huge wrestler guy, put him in the knee lock. I mean, and the guy tapped on Frank's butt, and Frank held it even extra little, because Frank loves breaking stuff. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Frank Mir loves breaking stuff. He's broke 2 elbows, or forearms, whatever. I mean, he broke Big Tim Sylvia for the title at UFC. Then he broke up one of the Brazilian brothers, you know, who everyone was saying had better jiu-jitsu than Frank, and Frank was like, oh really? Because he's from Brazil, he has automatically better jiu-jitsu than me? Let me show you something, and let me tell you, Frank put this dude in a Kimura, and just went, snap, because the dude didn't want to tap. I mean, the dude's thinking to himself while he's in a Kimura, oh damn, my reputation's gonna take a huge hit here. I'm gonna tap out to Frank Mir. Everyone's gonna be like, your jiu-jitsu ain't on the same level as Frank Mir. So he didn't tap, and Frank was like, okay, snap. Yeah, Frank likes breaking stuff. And then he had Brock Lesnar, that's his name. He had him in a knee lock. And Brock like a little, a little pussy basically. He was like, tap, 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 tap. But Frank held it just a little extra time, and Brock sure did get mad at that, you guys. And he went up to him afterwards, like, why are you holding so long? You're gonna hurt my knee. Oh man, you can tell a lot about a person when they're in a submission. You know, some guys will be like, I'll never tap. And then they get in a submission, they're like, you know, they don't even last a couple seconds. They're like, tap, 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 tap. And then you got your dudes that won't tap. They will not tap, and they go to sleep. And you get their... Who was that girl? It was Misha Tate. The first time she fought Ronda Rousey was in Strike Force. And Misha was the champion. And, Ronda had just done like 6 elbows on people, and so she got Misha in an elbow, and Misha was like, I'm not tapping, and Ronda was working the hell out of that elbow. It was nasty. Misha's elbow was all bent all kinds of ways, and she did tap. Oh yes, she did. And you know, while they were announcing that Ronda was the winner, you can tell she was holding her elbow like in a way that was obvious she was not liking the feeling of getting her elbow jacked by Ronda Rousey for, oh my god, it was like 2 minutes. It was painful to watch. And you even had, like, Nick Diaz, who's not exactly a squirmish type of person, saying, you know, the refs should have stopped it. You know, they should have rescued Misha, because I'm telling you, if you want to see something nasty, there's a couple things in MMA, like when Anderson Silva obviously broke his shin on, you know, that stupid dude from New York. You know, he's always crying. I don't even know his name. You know, some people, you just don't remember their names, because they just don't. Some you do. They make an impact. And sometimes you don't remember their names, but, you know, I think you know what my point is. The dude from New York, Anderson Silva broke his leg on him. You remember that. And then, of course, the Misha Tate Ronda Rousey, how she got her arm all messed up, yeah. And then, of course, the Red King from Canada just fought, he just fought, the Bellator guy who was champ in 170-pound division. And he made, the Red King's calf look like, you know, it was jacked up real bad with the calf kicks. But the Red King won. He's tough. I seen him a couple times when he fought Robbie Lawler. I mean, his face, he looked like it was scary. He looked like he was some kind of Skeletor. His nose, it was jacked up, and he just went as long as he could until Robbie hit him that one last time. Probably would have left, I don't remember. But then the Red King was like Rory McDonald. He was like, he just couldn't do no more, you know. He was so... In that fight, he got Robbie to the edge, too. And speaking of Robbie Lawler in his last fight against Rafael dos Anjos, I mean, my God, Robbie took a beating. And Robbie usually looks like he's taking a beating, but he's real good at rolling with stuff. You know, like, it looks like you're hitting him real clean, but he's really just rolling with it. You know, kind of like the way Muhammad Ali did with the rope-a-dope. He's just, George Foreman's thinking this whole time, oh, I'm going to take this guy any second. I gassed out, because Muhammad Ali was rolling. He was rope-a-doping him. Well, Robbie Lawler's probably the best at it. He can roll so nice, and people get frustrated. But this time when he fought Rafael dos Anjos, I mean, because Rafael wasn't just headhunting, he was going to the body. And you don't exactly roll with body blows, you guys. I mean, if you're going to take a body shot, you're going to feel that sucker. And Robbie took a lot. He's strong. He's tough. He went all 5 rounds. And of course, he lost a massive decision, but, you know, got a lot of respect from me. And I, you know, speaking of Robbie, I mean, if you guys ever want to know what I looked like when I was a kid, well, I did show my Howdy Doody picture. But, Robbie Lawler's got a son with the red hair. And I swear, he could have been my twin. Robbie Lawler's son with the red hair. Trying to get my fan on me, because... oh yeah, I gotta turn up the power. So anyway, I got Soul Cure Radio on again, you guys, in the background. Yeah, been talking a lot. But, yeah, John downloaded a lot of stuff. Anyway, what I'm saying is I ordered one of these little body cameras, but it's 4K. And it's got what's called a shark eye lens, not a fish eye lens, a shark eye lens. Anyway, it's got a lot of good reviews. I've seen what the sample of the video. It's good quality, and this is going to give me the chance of getting out of this room, taking this outside, which is wonderful, because, I mean, I'll be able to make videos with the full moon, show you the moon. I can show you how they don't do chemtrails in the Research Triangle Park, because it's off limits. I mean, the RTP's like the heartbeat of the NWO in America. You know, they got Charlotte is the Federal Reserve main base of ops, and then you got Camp Lejeune 2 hours and the other way. So basically it's RTP, which is Chapel Hill, Raleigh, Durham, and then 2 hours out you got Camp Lejeune, where Marsoc is, and then you got Charlotte, where the main Fed Reserve hub is. So they basically did a circle around that and said nobody touches this area. Most people thought that, you know, the Harvard, MIT, Boston U, UMass was the place where they didn't touch, but, you know, just look at what they did with the Boston Marathon. Ba-boom! Ba-boom! Yeah. So obviously, that is not their heartbeat, you know, per se. It's RTP. I have looked in the sky for chemtrails and never once even saw one. Not even one. And I've been looking for a long time. So, yeah, that realization came to me when I was like, why? I even thought maybe these chemtrails was a hoax, but now I know. Now I understand how they think in terms of that. They just, some areas, they have their families and, you know, and they just obviously don't want to have all these heavy metals coming down on their families, obviously. Anyway, I'll be able to go outside. And what I'm hoping is tomorrow night, like I said, we got Glory Kickboxing, my lord. We got Bellator, my lord again. And then, if that's not enough, Saturday we got the UFC pay-per-view with Khabib, this monster from Dagestan, versus Tony, this, you know, dude from 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, who, for a skinny dude, has some crazy power, because it's not how big you are, it's how well you can flow. I mean, that's the best word to use. How well you can just snap stuff. If you're real flexible, and Tony's unbelievably flexible, he's like me, just unbelievably flexible. So when he snaps something, it's like a rubber band, you snap. I mean, you know, versus a dude with big muscles that comes with the whole thinking all his muscles gonna create more power than somebody that just goes snap. It's the snap that gets you. I mean, Bruce Lee will explain that better when he explains the proper way to punch. You know, he tells you punch, and some say punch through. Well, you know, Bruce Lee's basically saying is don't really squeeze until the last part. So it's like you're letting it snap, and then at the end is when you clamp down. So it's like I mean, it's really hard. Bam, bam. It's really hard here, but I'm gonna take it outside and show you guys some stuff, and hopefully I'm gonna set it up. I wish I had a portable power system, but I probably could work something out. My neighbor Kim's got all kinds of stuff in his Tim Tool Time like garage, so I'll get extension cords. I'll do what I gotta do. I know we got an outlet outside the front door. And yeah, I'm thinking I can use the Nephilim, who knows, kneecaps or whatever for a seat. And I can set up the iMac, and the full moon will be in the back, so maybe I'll turn it around and have the full moon. And I'll figure out a way to get the live pay-per-view feed. There's ways to get it for free, obviously. And we're going to do this. I mean, that's Saturday. And tomorrow, so as soon as I get that little sucker and learn how to use it, I'm going to try to learn how to do the split screen, or have the, well, with the UFC pay-per-view, you see, I can't just stream it, because it's like a strike or whatever. So what you gotta do is put it in a corner or tilt it. You gotta do something, and then it's a loophole. So I'll figure all that out. I'll have it ready to go. I'm just saying, like in that that movie with De Niro and Charles Grodin. Charles Grodin is the Duke who jumped on bail, and De Niro hunts him down, and the mob boss is Dennis Farina, and the mob boss's guys come up and say to him, "Hey boss, get ready to be happy." And then they tell him like what they just learned about where the Duke is. I always love that. It's like they didn't just walk up and say, "Here's the info." They just walked up and was like, "Hey boss, get ready to be happy." And then they told him. And I think Dennis Farina was said something like, "Just tell me," you know, I don't know, I forget. I can't remember the name of that movie. That's why I'm always like telling you who was in it, because I don't remember sometimes names. So I try to explain it so you can, you know, hunt it down if you want to check out that scene. And speaking of that, I was thinking like making a video of the top 10 movie scenes ever. Yeah, that would be cool, huh? But I'm not gonna go on to all the movies and pull little pieces and make. I don't even really know how to do that. So what I'm gonna do is just, you know, do my best interpretation, you know. But I'll tell you a couple. Here's what comes to mind: The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, when the Satan dude, he had his cohorts, and one of them looked like had a monkey face, and he might have even had a tail. But his thing was he jumped around, and he might have had like a staff. He had a weapon or something. And when he first came at Eddie Murphy, he did like the gymnastics thing up to him. He went flip, 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 flip. And then Eddie Murphy was like, "What was that? With the flip?" And me and my little brother James, we would say that to each other all the time. You know, if we seen something funny, we'd be like, "What was that? With the flip?" So that's one. Another one is The Lost Boys. You know that movie with Kiefer Sutherland's and Jason Patrick's, and that girl that was real beautiful, you know. So the head vampire is in like Corey Haim's house, and he came over to date his mom. And Corey's trying to tell his mom he's the head vampire. So Corey's upstairs like fashioning their little homemade weapons, and the mom and head vampire guy is having dinner, and anyway, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman come down and bust everything up, and then the mom finally sees that the guy really is, I think because like all the head vampire and his vampires, Kiefer Sutherland's and them came in. One was named Marco, and anyway, the mom realizes, and then the head vampire goes, "Yeah, but I still want you, Lucy," with the tongue. And he had like a perfect upside down triangle tongue, you know, which they do love their upside down triangles, by the way. And you know, which by the way is a plug for their fertility rituals. You know, that thing in the desert, the Wicker Man, all that, Burning Man. That's about fertility orgies, you guys. Trace that back to Babylon and, you know, false god worships of that type of thing. You know, there's baby sacrifice too, but a lot of it is just a lot of orgy, fertility worship ceremonies, etc. But, so that's the second one. Yeah, but I still want you, Lucy. And then, number 3... nothing's coming to mind right now. So if you guys have your idea, share, comment, etc. You know, it don't have to be top 10. It can just be like, you know, whatever, the best. Love this thing. Same size and weight as a lacrosse ball, but it's like a hacky sack. You see with the squeeze? It's got the little beads or whatever in it. Oh, by the way, you know what? When I was 1995, I think it was, I was in Iowa. You know, where I told you about that transcendental meditation town, Fairfield, Iowa. I was there for like a couple months, and I think like my uncle like got in touch with me and said, I just sold your stocks. Because when I was in 8th grade, I mean, I was only like 12 or 13, I was into the stock market. I know it's unusual, but I was. And I actually spent all the money I had saved from blueberry packing, and I bought some stock. And then, that was like 1987. And here we are in 1995, my uncle's like, I sold it. And it was like $1,200. And I was in that tiny Iowa town, not really trapped, because I was having a good time with my friend Jason Shoker from Jamaica. He was in a band called Big Bamboo. He was the lead singer, and it was Reggae World Beat. I mean, I was having a pretty good time. And, but I was of the mindset of only staying in a place a couple months and then gallivanting around, you know? I had certain spots. So anyways, some dude was like driving to Boulder, Colorado, which is west. I don't know, maybe 12 hours. I don't remember. And he had a real nice van, and he needed someone to go with, and I was like, I'll go. And then, as soon as I decided, I got word through my brother that my uncle sold my stocks and sent him the check, and it was like $1,200. I was like, wow, that's good timing. So anyway, I cashed it, and I ended up in Boulder with $1,200. And the first thing I did, I mean, I had dreadlocks and Bob Marley. I only had one t-shirt, it was a Bob Marley. So they were coming up to me the first hour I got there, asking me what I wanted. So I bought a half an elbow of dirt nasty weed for $500. And, you know, if I had to do it again, I would have definitely spent it on the kind. Because I thought, you know, the more the better. If I get a half elbow of dirt, I'll make more money than if I bought $500 worth of kind. But no, you'll always make better on kind. You always will. And that's kind of like a misunderstanding herbsmen first have. They think because dirt weed is cheaper, that they'll make more. They won't. Your profit margin, to use that word, you know, is better with kind bud. Anyway, so yeah, I bought a half elbow of dirt weed, and I was in street herbsman. And but one thing is, this dude was making these little, what he called stress balls, and also he called juggling balls. And what he did was he took balloons, and balloons, you know, come in all nice little colors and patterns, and so he had a lot of different ones in his backpack, and he'd sell them, a juggling set, 3 of them, for $10, $5, whatever he could get. And I remember he had these ones, and the balloon pattern was like the planet with the blue sky. It was real nice. And we were having this catch right on not on the hill in Boulder, Colorado, but down where the main part is. We were having this, wham, we was chucking it. And it was heavy, like I said. It was full of these. What he did, he took the balloon and cut off the rim where you blow it up, and then he stuffed it with rice. Yeah, rice. And, you know, then he took another balloon and cut off the end and put that over so it covered the hole. And then the other balloon had the opening here, and then he took a third balloon and covered it like that. So it was 3 balloons, and the rice wouldn't get out, you know? And it had the squeeze, and you could use rice, or you could use barley, but he preferred rice, because he always said if he needed like a reserved meal, he had these rice balls, and each one was like a serving. I thought that was pretty smart. And of course, when you're like a free-range, free-roaming human in Boulder, Colorado, where are you gonna cook rice? Make a fire in the middle of the street, or... But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I love these things. Alright, yeah, keep looking over here, and I know why, because I'm getting, like, to the point where... That's so good. Let me just plug this. Bye. And this is the Andes Coconut Lime. I got a 24-pack, I think. No, I'm sorry. A 12-pack. And it's the coconut kind of Bai antioxidant cocoa fusion. And there's 4 kinds. One's like Molokai, and that's why I got it, because it said Molokai. And I got friends from Molokai. But this one is the Andes with the lime. It's really good. And I don't usually buy products if I saw an ad and the person who does the ad are very demonic, like Justin Timberlake is one of the most demonic human puppets on earth. His little Super Bowl thing with the mirrors to, you know, as demonic as it gets. That halftime Super Bowl he did. But anyway, he did a Bai commercial with Christopher Walken. And I do like Christopher Walken a whole lot. Even though most likely he's a poop eater too. Most likely. In fact, he was in the movie What to Do in Denver When You're Dead, when they first brought out that whole idea of being a feces freak, a dookie eater. So, yeah, I'm sure he's all up in that feces freak stuff, but I like him anyway. I mean, the way he does his little, you know, and he's real skinny. But I read an article, and he's a big cat lover. So, I mean, just that alone, he's okay with me. To a point, he would still, maybe, I don't know, but he would still be classified as wicked. I mean, he's been in Hollywood. You know, there's only 2 actors that I can verify for you guys right now that aren't Illuminati puppets. Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel, you know, who played Jesus in Mel Gibson's latest movie that all the Jews went crazy and was like, with their whole neuroticism. Oh my god, can you believe that? And put him on the blacklist. They spazzed real big time on that. But anyway, guess what, all y'all? He's coming with part 2. What happens with Jesus during the resurrection? Oh yeah, it's coming out soon. And Jim Caviezel is about to release a movie about either St. Paul or St. Peter. And I know I can confirm them 2 Utes. Yeah, they're all right. They're Jesus freaks, you guys. And they're the rare ones that will go into the Hollywood realm and still stand firm. Be like the Smyrnans who get persecuted yet remain steadfast. That's your Mel Gibson. That's your Jim Caviezel. So, shout out to them 2 Utes. And I'm looking forward to them 2 movies, too. Yeah. So, that's been pretty good amount of time, you guys. I mean, I keep looking over here. I mean, I got my cedar staff I showed you in the last video. My newest one. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why. I told you I was supposed to get something by 9 p.m. Well, I got a couple more. I'll do an unboxing or whatever. I'll do that for you. Yeah, I will. And I don't know what else. I mean, all I got over there is this. Oh, maybe, yeah, I did want to show you. That's why. Okay. I was talking in my last video about how there's special stoppers that you can put on a walking stick that doubles as just a regular stopper, but it can be like a solid brass point. So in the ice, you know, point. And like in the show The Walking Dead, that guy Morgan has his staff and it's chiseled down, so he can do with the whole to the head to the zombies. But of course, you can't use that as a walking stick because it's got a sharp point. You're gonna dull it up, etc. So it's better to have the one with the diverse. But they're expensive, and I was thinking eventually I'll be able to get one. But then it occurred to me, I have this. You know, this is my karambit, which I love. It's the knife that it's my go-to. And then you got ready? Bam! I know, isn't that lovely? And I got this thing set. I guess I could change the setting. But you see, it's a USMC M-Tech. And I'm telling you, it's constructed unbelievably well, you guys. And I just love it. You got the option to use it like that. You know, you're not going to drop it if someone has a staff of their own and hits your wrist. You know, most likely with your pinky curled, you're not going to drop it. Your wrist might go flying, but you're still going to have it. And so I'm thinking, like, I can duct tape it or hockey tape it right there, just like that. You guys? Just like that. And then I got not just a solid brass point, but I could slash and burn. And then, you know, obviously I'm thinking, yeah, but in order to open it, I'm gonna have to, like, I can't just have a button up here, like what a hidden sword king does. Press the button or some release mechanism and the thing pops out. I don't have that, but that's the thing I wanted to talk about. We are at a point where we need things to be such down to the fine detail that if it's not, we won't touch something. I can easily, if I'm in something and it gets to the point where it's out of hand and I need to come with the whole, you know, eagle's claw, and it's down there, but it's not open, all I gotta do is turn it around and do with the flick. You know? If it's taped down there, I just gotta turn it around, put my finger on it like this, and just go like this. Bam! And then I got it. But it's like, you know,